Ladies and gentlemen, okay, wait, this isn't right. Just a minute.
A few moments later.
Okay, there we go. That is significant. I don't know what happened there, but ladies and gentlemen, I just finished watching The Walking Dead Dead City Season 2, Episode 3. Couldn't tell you at all what the name of this episode was. I watched it quick in a pinch, but I do have a lot of thoughts, and I want to share them, because I'm honestly a little bit torn on this episode. There were definitely some elements that I didn't mind. I kind of enjoyed. And then there were elements that I thought were absolutely insane and have me questioning the show, the direction, and all of that. So I guess I'll just give a quick synopsis of the episode for those of you who aren't watching the show and just want to hear what I have to say about it and things like that. This episode follows Maggie's group. I guess it's the Bricks community, the New Babylon group, journeying through Central Park and being overrun by walkers because there's a hidden community out there in Central Park, and they're there amongst a ton of walkers who are guarding them essentially from being shown to the rest of the world. So essentially, they get attacked by these walkers. They get brought into this group of people who moan when people die. We're going to get to that at some point in time. And while that's all going on, we also see Negan talking to the Croat and essentially pitching to go into Central Park to find the survivors because they know they're in there. And things happen along the way. So that's the episode. I'm going to be completely honest. I feel like this episode was essentially just filler for story elements to come later, but it did give us some good things that I can't say I'm exactly mad about, but it also gave some things that I am kind of weirded out about, I guess you could say. So the biggest thing that happened this episode, and pretty much the only thing that's really worth talking about, is Herschel. We got a little bit of his backstory with the Dama, and we got a little bit more with him, and we got a really interesting scene with him where he, goes to shoot Negan, but misses in the worst way ever, or it could be read as that he needed to shoot the gun to signal, so he shot it kind of also to scare Negan and tell him to essentially go away. I don't really know how to read that scenario, but either way you read it, it was just kind of uncanny to watch on screen. I don't know how else to put it. I'm going to get to that and then we'll get to some of the other elements. So obviously I think that's the biggest elephant in the room of this episode. Later on, Herschel gets lost away from Maggie's crew, essentially. This is how it all goes down. She gets lost away from Maggie's crew in general and all the new Babylonian people and all of that. And essentially, someone hunting them down comes and finds him. And then that person gets killed. And behind the person who gets killed is Negan. So Negan and Herschel have this face-to-face moment. And in that moment, right away, when they're face-to-face, he makes a shot that misses. It literally was like Pulp Fiction, where it was the die you motherfucker scene, and he shoots 8 shots and misses, except this was 1 shot. That's what it felt like. He got so angry and he shot his, I don't even remember Mustang and Sally guns from Call of Duty. He shot one of them, and it looks like it just barely grazed him. Not really, didn't hit him, but it looked like it just went right past him. And it was just kind of weird. I really don't know how else to put it. It was just kind of weird. And then they have this moment where they look at each other and that's just kind of it. And then he goes back to Maggie and says he ran into Negan and why do you have such a stick up your butt for Negan sort of thing. That's their confrontation, Herschel's and Maggie's later on. But it was just weird. I don't know exactly what they were going for. And I tried to watch the episode Insider to figure out what that meant. Did it mean he was actually just willing to kill him in that moment? And if he did, was it because he was so sick of his mom just being obsessed with Negan? Or was it for his own pent-up rage based on season 11 when young Herschel said he was going to kill Negan at some point in time? But even if that's the case, the way it just went about, I don't know why they would do that. I don't know why it went down the way it did. It just felt uncomfortable. It felt unnatural. And I don't think it worked. And it worked, I should say. And it also just makes me ask more questions about the show now. Because on one hand, you're exposing Herschel to be this, in the eyes of the story, antagonist or bad guy, kind of, because he's siding with the Dama, clearly. But I think his reasons, in some way, shape, or form, from what we've seen so far, make sense. But I'd assume somewhere along the way in this planning with the Dama, that he had to have known about the leverage that Negan holds, or something like that. So why would he kill him? Maybe there's more there that we're going to get, and I know the obvious answer is seemingly that he said he would whenever he saw him, like when in season 11 he said that, and also the rage from his mom being obsessed with it makes him want to just end it by killing him. I do get those things, but I feel like you're telling two different sorts of sides of the spectrum with this one, if that makes any sense. Like if you're picking up what I'm putting down, go ahead and comment the illustrious dolphin in the comments. I don't know how to word it, but I don't really know how to feel about it. Like on one hand, it's kind of interesting. On the other hand, it's weird. I don't know. I mean, that's like really the only thing to take away. The only other thing to take away was we got to see the Dama's relationship with Herschel, which was not at all what it was seen to be from season 1. The Dama seemed to have been such a big threat to Herschel in season 1. That's what it seemed like it was. But it turns out they actually had a really good relationship so far that we've seen. And he actually agrees with her. Again, I kind of understand that on one hand. Like, especially right now, I live right in the city and all of that stuff. So the idea of bringing it back in its own way, I think everyone could get on board with that. Even people who are against the Dama. You know what I mean? I think everyone could get on board with that. So I understand where Herschel's coming from. But are they pointing him out based off the smoke signal from the last episode, which totally went past my head? I didn't even realize that was the case. But are they pointing him to be like the actual bad guy of the season? By the way, the Dama says once you get home, there's things you're going to have to do that you're not going to like and things like that. Is that where they're going with this? Because if that's the case, this is a big deviation from his comic book counterpart, which his comic book counterpart was not enjoyable, to say the least. Like, people didn't like him either. But this is just taking a turn for, like, I don't understand why they're intentionally making him an insufferable character. I think the actor's good. I don't think the actor's the problem. They're doing things in this episode to make him out to be much worse than I feel like they should. I don't know how to word that. That's why I'm so conflicted with this episode. Like, there were elements I liked. I found what we got a little bit entertaining for the most part. Like, I enjoyed most of the episode, but those questions just had me a little, I don't know, I guess confused about where the show is going. The only other thing that I could really note about this season, there's two, is there was so much Gimple speak with the Dama talking about restoring power and bringing back the city and all of that stuff. Like, I don't know why they make everyone out to be just like so gimply with the way they use words. And they always do this with like every villain. They're like, we're going to bring it back. It's going to be greater than ever. It's like Trump Make America Great Again with all of the villains or all of the people in these stories. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. I feel like that's how it is. In this one, it's like just rinse, wash, repeat. We're going to bring it back. We're going to do this. It's like the same stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking out of my ass. But that's what I feel with the Dama. I actually like the Dama as a character, but I feel like it's just gimply talk. It's just, we're going to make this great. Like, and I get it. We're in an apocalypse. Everyone wants to build things up again. I totally get that. But just the way it comes off, it's just like, it feels like it's all the same. I don't know. Whatever. Those are my thoughts. The only other thing that I thought was really interesting was the death ritual that they did when the girl got stabbed and she was dying, where they all just like moaned really loud. It was like, like, okay, like, I understand in The Insider they were trying to say that that was like the way they cry, but that was just like, I was like, I feel a little uncomfortable watching it. I'd feel uncomfortable watching it with my parents, you know? I mean, I don't know how to word it. It was just weird. Those are my thoughts on the episode overall. I don't know what else to say about it for sure. That's that. Well, that concludes that one. Let me know what you thought about the episode down in the comments below. Did you like episode 3? Did you hate episode 3? Are you somewhere in the middle? I don't know. Just let me know down there. Let's not try to start a war, okay? All right, with all that out of the way, thank you again so much for watching this video, and until the next one, I'll talk to you later. Peace out, and I gotta get rid of this again.